My name is Ayo Bankole Akintujoye, and I am OnPeople.
Welcome to another episode of OnPeople, a podcast on people at work. Here we dive into stories, insights and learnings from the forefront of Africa's work scene. My name is Tol, and I am back here with my co-host, Aniema.
This is going to be a really insightful episode. Today's guest is a strategy powerhouse who is reshaping the African business landscape. He's a seasoned strategy and transformation professional with 15 years of experience across financial markets, insurance, and oil and gas, working with some renowned companies including KPMG, PwC, Philips Consulting, and C2G Consulting. In 2010, he took the bold leap to found Caladium Consulting, and since then has supported over 310 SMEs and large enterprises across sub-Saharan Africa through initiatives such as the SME Fellowship Program, the Strategy Skills Academy, and the Caladium SME community. He has directly impacted over 10,000 African SMEs. If you're wondering who this is, it is the one and only Ayo Bankole Akintujoye.
So excited to have you today, Ayo Bankole Akintujoye, aka ABA.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Thank you for having me.
People. Yes.
I'm so excited to be here. I like that people are, quality people are, taking over the narrative on podcast and investing in quality conversations.
Nice.
Otherwise, we're just going to leave the narrative to people who to dominate with poor quality conversations.
Wow.
And
no pressure on him.
No pressure at all.
Yes. So thank you. So each time I see your profile, I'm always sighing. You've put the D in doings. You've been very busy, extremely busy, 15 years plus of strategy across some of the major heavy hitters, KPMG, PwC, Philips Consulting. What drew you to strategy?
So, what drew me to strategy? So I wouldn't say what drew me to strategy. I think what drew me to business or to support business was my mom, right? My parents were both business people. My mom had a career. My dad was business all along. But my mom had a career in Lafarge. Then it was West African Portland Cement. And then she took an early retirement. And before... when she retired, she got some chunk of money and then she put it in supporting my dad. And then shortly afterwards, my dad passed with the money, and as you would have in the typical Nigerian, Nollywood movie context, this time it's real life, it's not Nollywood. My dad died with all my mom's money and all of that. And, there's an uncle of mine, Uncle Otimi, wherever he is. I think he's also dead. He then ran away with whatever my dad left. No jokes, no jokes.
Real like Nollywood. This is literally.
And this was an uncle who would live with us, who would eat with us, and all of that. I have step siblings. They also went through the same heartbreak that he did to us. And then again, the Nollywood hasn't ended. We lived in our house for almost 7-8 years or so. Never owed and all of that. And shortly after, the landlord threw our things out and said, "Oh no, she can't. He can't live with a single a woman that doesn't have." And my mom gave.
Sorry. The landlord said he can't.
That he can't
rent
live
out
with.
to
To a woman
that doesn't have a husband.
That doesn't have. I mean, this woman lived in your house with her
husband.
Every day, and we were a very responsible set of people because he was always fighting with our neighbors. He never had issues with us. We never owed. We were a very okay set of people.
And he just woke up one day and said,
"Oh, he didn't even wake up one day. It was during the morning, maybe about 2 months or 30 days or so." He called my mom and said, that
Oh,
so in the middle of all of that, my mom had to, and she only had the money for that rent renewal, not to move. Because moving requires a lot of money.
Yes.
It does.
So, she had to start looking for a house. Anyway, so that moved us out from where we were living to Meo.
Okay.
Meo is somewhere on the outskirts, on the way to Songo. So of course she had to gather bits and pieces together and started, focused on a small business. So while she was working, she was always trading on the side. So my mom has always been a trader. But now she had to trade to literally send me to school, because that was just when I was looking for admission and all of that. So every day, every night, she would go out, she would come back, she would painstakingly account for her books. She would call people who are owing her. The house was just full of trades, inventory everywhere. You would paperwork and things that she was selling. So I grew up knowing that I needed to support my mom one way or the other, and that I needed to help her with her business, right? But I wasn't sure. The clarity didn't come to me, because I knew I didn't want to be an accountant or something like that. So I didn't have that clarity until I got into uni. And
studying?
When I was studying, and then I joined an organization, extracurricular, not even my schoolwork. I joined an organization called ISEC.
Yeah.
ISEC is the world's largest student-run organization, and that's why I tell young people, build a community very quickly. Join ISEC, join JCI, and all of these things. It's extremely important. It helps with clarity. It helps with peer-to-peer comparison. So I joined ISEC, and we went for this conference in Port Harcourt. It's called the National Planning Conference, and that was where they use strategy tools and all of that to do plan for the year. So I got very interested that this is really interesting. I still have photos. I will go look for them. Photos from that time when we were doing that group thing. So when I got back to school, I went on isec.org. That was the portal that ISEC used for. I went to download everything about strategy planning, and I said, this is what I want to do. But unfortunately, I didn't even get to do it immediately. I started off in an organization called C2G. Is a tech company. Yeah, so I started off in tech marketing. From tech marketing, I got into tax in KPMG. So I started my career twice, or let's call it three times. Three times. Just to get to do strategy. So that's how I got into strategy, and it's been incredible. It's been incredible. I mean, I think God just mapped my career in a way that because everything feeds into each other. I think if I was not a strategy consultant, I probably would be a teacher. But being a strategy consultant still makes me a teacher. Because what I do really is teaching,
Yes, amazing. I just want us to just pause and big up your mom. What's her name?
My mom, my mom's name is Nihilola Akintujoye. My mom is she's an incredible
shout out
woman.
to her.
Shout out to mom. You have done a good job.
She's an incredible
trading.
woman.
What was she trading?
She moved from different things. She was trading clothes, then she started trading Ghana slippers, then she started trading what's these bitters from Ghana? Alomo bitters. She was among the first set of people who would bring it from Lagos, from Ghana to Lagos. Then at some point she stopped because it became too many. So she started doing phones from Computer Village. She would take small Nokia 2210, all those phones that time. She would take it to Ghana. That time they didn't really have a Computer Village in Ghana.
She was very smart.
So she was constantly
evolving.
Once they say, there's this new thing.
Yes, market research, consumer research, pivoting. She's the real
and then,
queen.
It was really incredible. It was really a tough time because she didn't have a lot of capital. So she couldn't even stay in hotels. Yes. She couldn't pay for things in Ghana. She would stay outside in the sun, in the rain. And then they would seize her goods again. Then she would be short of capital. She would start running around. It was a difficult time, but my mom was very resilient. She's an incredibly resilient woman. So
we owe a lot of that to her.
I owe everything to her. I had the TEDx delivery recently, and I had to tell the hall to help me give her a standing ovation because she followed me to the event.
I'll be so proud.
Because if it wasn't for her, I probably would most likely be selling drugs or something or be under the bridge. Because some women would go through that and they just be like,
and that's the end. That's the end.
Sort yourself
society
out,
has just sent them
exactly.
to the bottom.
But she would insist that no, I have to go to school, and this is the school I have to go to because my aunt, everybody would be like, because I missed jam once, and say go to this poly, go to this education. My mom say no, is either UI or Unilag.
Yes.
And, you know, she's going to do all she can to ensure
to
that,
get you in.
you know.
And that was her saying that he had to be one of the best.
Yes, exactly. You know, exactly at that time. You know, my mom
that's
really.
amazing.
Yeah, you know.
A woman with vision.
she saw into the
A
future.
woman of substance. Oh wow, love it.
All right. While we're celebrating that, I think it's a good place to, you know, go into the history of your work. You have worked across different industries, financial markets, insurance, oil and gas. How does moving between these different sectors, how did it shape your strategic thinking, you know, rather than if you had just stayed in one industry? Tell us about how.
Yeah, that's a very brilliant question. I don't think anybody has even asked me that question, and it's an obvious thing on my CV that you should have seen that there should have been an intent. I was deliberate about moving. I was very deliberate about moving. I planned to move around. So I didn't plan to move around in the early years in consulting, but I planned to move around industries.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was lucky to have an incredible set of coaches and mentors in my early years. And they understood where I wanted to go. And then they made it. So I knew early, not that they told me to move, but I knew early that if I wanted to be a good... Meanwhile, I registered my business as a copper in my NYSC year. Yeah, so I knew that I wanted to run...
Shout out to
my
Caladium.
firm. Exactly. Do you get? So, and I knew that to build an incredible... So when I was working in the Big Four, I saw very clearly the gap in... A lot of our clients would complain. Some of them would not like us. They would say consultant, they're always theoretical, they always did.
Too theoretical.
So, I mean, I knew that it was some were just the passive aggression at consultants, you know, and the preference and the fancy stuff that we used to do and all that. But a lot of them were also valid because we were driven at that time by best practice, global this, global that. So some of the things that we would usually, some of the solutions were best fit for similar global environments.
Not localized.
So when you work with mid-size to smaller you know, business, you know, there are some businesses that are small, but the owners have a lot of liquidity. So you can pay a Big Four for advice, even though your business is small.
It's small.
So you realize that a lot of times it's not workable. So I knew that this gap clearly existed. So to bridge that gap, I knew I needed to move around industries to understand what is obtainable. You know, so banking was one of the places I really wanted to go after consulting. In fact, that was the number one place I wanted to go. Unfortunately, the offers I was getting in the bank was not sitting well with me, right? And when I say offer, it wasn't in terms of money. So, in fact, the pay offer I got from the bank was higher than what I got in FMDQ. But FMDQ made me head of strategy at the time. And the work was going to be very hard because they were just building FMDQ at the time. I was the first head of strategy. And shout out to Coco, the CEO at that time.
Shout out.
It was in the papers that he signed out. He retired recently with a 10 billion payout. Wow. And it was in the papers and all of that. And I'm like, people were talking on Twitter, these people, they pay themselves. And I'm like, you guys don't know.
You don't know.
Half of the work.
You don't even know. You can never even imagine a quarter, a fraction of the incredible work that Coco got him and all of us to do in that place. It was outrageous, you know, and that built the financial market into what it is today, the debt capital market. And that also gave me an incredible amount of understanding and depth about strategy execution, not just strategy development. Exactly. Do you get? So I left. Another sector that I was very interested in was insurance, because aside Nigeria, you look at advanced financial markets, insurance are bigger, right? The insurance ecosystem is massive. Many times they own banks, they control the backbone of a lot of the ecosystem outside Nigeria. So I wanted to understand it. So I went to insurance. I went to a mid-sized insurance company, and I did incredible work in that place. You know, more or less like almost doubled revenue, did a lot of things in terms of culture change and all of that. Then I moved to upstream oil and gas because clearly I wanted to have oil and gas because that's the main thing in Nigeria, isn't it? So that was how I got to move around a lot. At the early years, in terms of consulting, of course, because I wanted to do what I really wanted, then also because I tell people this, that one of the projects I did in my consulting career that most of us hated the most when we were there, because we had to go to Calabar, we come home every week. We hated the stress, we hated the fact that it was public sector. That project is our biggest revenue.
Can you imagine?
Yes, our biggest revenue
generator
today in Caladium. That skill set.
Oh, wow.
That I learned, how to design strategy, support strategy execution offices, how to implement strategy, how to advise the CEO and governor or whoever, So I tell people that, look, what you are doing today, you may hate it. It may be the most relevant thing that
where you're going.
Your next phase.
There's nothing like, this is the most important work. I don't want to do this unimportant.
Yes.
Please just get it done. If you have been told, if you put your name to something, your boss has told you to do something, or if it's church, even if it's church, if it's in your son's school,
the to the doings.
Just get it done.
That's it.
We launched an academy recently. The graduates gave me a mug. I carried everywhere. At the back of it, they just wrote, "No room for excuses." Ayo Bankole, because that's what I say every day. Just get it done.
Get it done. It's so weird when you were saying "get it done." I was saying that's the name for the topic. Get it done. Get it done. Just get it done.
Just get it done, man.
Wow. Okay.
It's so good to see how you deliberately crafted your journey. Not that many people know so early, at least not so early.
Yes.
How they wanted to travel on their work trajectory. And I also liked how you highlighted the fact that, there's a difference in approaching international businesses versus SME, which is now your top.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you had mentioned...
And there's a difference between SME and startups.
Yes. A lot of people didn't know it. I didn't know it as well.
Oh, you did not?
I didn't know it many years ago. I just thought we'll all just call ourselves startups. It's a big difference. It's a big difference.
We are SME focused.
Yes.
So our consulting firm is startup focused. We have startup, we have SME.
As clients,
But as a business, we are an SME.
Same here.
Yeah, and we believe very strongly that the SME ecosystem has the space for unlocking Africa's growth potential.
Yep.
Do you get my point? Enabled by tech, but not necessarily
tech.
You can't grow only on tech. Because who's going to grow the real sector? Real estate is not going to change, right? You can use tech and say,
to advance and accelerate. That's it.
Tech is not going to build it.
It's not going to build it.
Tech is not going to manufacture this water. It's not going to manufacture phones. It's not going to manufacture this bottle until we begin to do that in this country. We're just going to be wasting our time.
Going around in circles. Wow. So you mentioned registering Caladium Consulting. At that time, there was no code. It was just Caladium. Yeah, a nice name. NYC. But that bold move that you took was in 2010. And at this point, you had already learned from the best. You learned from Big Four 2 or 3 times over, right? Your Philips Consulting may not have been in the Big Four, but they are the big. One of the greats, right? And so you learned from the best. But then you were coming to start something that would then compete with the best you had learned from.
At the time, I didn't plan to compete with them.
Yeah, you didn't know at that time. You were just thinking, it's a small gap. I've seen the gap. What drove this? What was inside you that made you think? What were those traits that were inside you? That audacity, that self-belief. What was inside you that said, Ayo?
We're just talking about books. We're just talking about books. I think that the best gift anybody can do for themselves is to read a lot of books very quickly and very early. I wrote about it recently on Twitter that there are 3 types of investments that you can give yourself. The first is the people that you surround yourself with, the type of community you build, the friends. And it's not just about networking up. It's not about networking with rich people. People mistake
they don't get it.
Networking with rich people and big people for quality network. No. A lot of young people network with me every day. I'm not going to be talking to them every day. They are not my friends. If you reach out to me, I will respond. But you are not my friend. We're not going to grow together, right? But if you network within your peers, quality people within your peers that you know they are on a journey that is aligned with yours, is one of the best things you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you read very early, as much as possible, trust me, it would take you and make you think in a way that you can never imagine. That is, now, of course, the third is having a relationship with God in a way that forget the other general mindset of what God is. Forget the traditional definition of it. You don't have to be the best in church. You don't have to. If that is what it means to you, fine. You don't have to. Do you understand what I mean? You don't have to follow the convention. Once you know how you
relate with God.
Relate with God and appreciate Him. To others, you may be an atheist. Yeah, this guy is going to come. No. You know
what works for you.
I can assure you, it can be that it's through your mother, it can be through your father, it can be through your wife, it can be through your husband.
Yeah.
But you know that my source is God. I don't think that it's all this. I charted it in forward. I read. I did. It's God. I'm not the smartest. Do you get what I mean? It's not only me that read books. It's not only me that. It's God. It's grace. It's God. You know, God said that He will show mercy on those that He will show mercy on. It's not by how hard the work has been. Do you get? So I think that. So why I started well with books is that I read Barack Obama's Audacity of Hope.
Hope. Yes, I have it.
You know, that Audacity of Hope and Bill Clinton's My Life.
Oh wow.
You know, I was in the university when I read it. I don't even know which one had the most compelling, even though they are politicians, and I still don't know how to align, because I'm not necessarily involved in politics. But I read their story from the angle of impact. And how very early they thought about where they were going. And
they were strategists.
Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton was following, you know, JFK and co behind very early in life. Do you get my point? They understood where they wanted to go so very early. So what I did was I then dedicated different years of my life to read different types of books. And then I would go and look for people that align. When I was younger, people used to call me Paul, because I looked at Wole Soyinka and I loved his personal brand and what he achieved with himself globally so much. I read all his books.
Wow.
Oh, I'm not even kidding. So it gave me this type of mental clarity that I didn't learn in class. And it was so clear that my lecturer, my HOD called me to say, AY, you're supposed to graduate with the first class. You are close to it. You should focus in final year. And I was so clear that I told my HOD that, no, that I can't make a first class because final year I don't plan to dedicate it to academics. That I plan to dedicate it to ISEC.
Because that's where ISEC is taking me.
I was also doing student politics. I resigned from student politics.
What did you say? You studied?
I studied education. Yeah, that's another conversation. People don't know. You always think I did maybe economics or something.
No, I thought there was like politics and.
So I studied education and political science.
Yeah.
And I did masters in politics, in political science. So I said no.
I know I'm pausing because usually we do interrupt.
No, you are. That question is very valid.
No. Let me know. It's a very valid question. And like we usually keep quiet. But did you hear what you said? You said who would that you say you followed early? You were following politicians.
Barack Obama and co. That's true.
And there were strategists. There were people who were constantly mapping out their future.
Yeah.
And they had
and
what you said mental clarity. That's not a skill I really hear. People will come up with some lovely skills like audacity, like you said. But mental clarity is actually a skill. It's a skill because those guys, in following those people, it made them clear. And that's why you could go back to tell your professor and say, guy, I'm clear on where I'm going.
Because I had found, that's why I said mentor. How did I know about ISEC? Before I entered uni at all, there was a guy called Dakpo Kunde in my estate.
Wow.
Dakpo was not even in ISEC. Dakpo had a friend who was in ISEC. And Dakpo told me the story of that friend. And how ISEC gave him the opportunity for internship in Germany. So I had not even entered uni. And I had told myself that anytime I get to UI, because Dakpo was in UI, I would go and look for ISEC. Throughout my 100 level, I didn't see, I never met them in office. I would go every day.
Wow.
I'm not kidding you. So young people need to Dakpo
Community.
was just my guy in my estate. But I could as well have been guys with somebody who had nothing to offer other than let's smoke cigarette and carry babes. Those friends too existed. I had them.
Yeah.
But your ability to so these things layer on each other.
Yeah.
And then there's the God factor. It's a triangular pillar.
Yes.
Do you understand? So now because mental clarity is so important, that's why it's the hill I'm ready to die on. That for younger people, if my only job is to help people provide that mental clarity, I will continue to do that. Because young people, if you are already born in the global south, you are disadvantaged.
Yep.
So you cannot now be caught with those who are building entitlement in saying, oh, they don't want to do hard work, oh, they don't want to do this, oh, I don't want to. Young people are burdening themselves with too many things they don't want to do than what they want to do.
Yes.
You don't want to respond to email properly. You don't want to put on video on a call, on an interview.
You don't want to
go to
You
work.
want to come into work.
You don't want to go to work. You don't want to do. Yes, you are entitled to whatever you want to be entitled to. But so are employers entitled to what makes them convenient. This is not. Nobody is convenient. Is it convenient for you to be doing this interview today?
No, I don't say. Well,
Is it convenient for you to even start these people parties? Is it convenient for you to start podcasts?
Not say lots of good
Is
content.
it convenient for you to be paying salary, be monitoring this, be monitoring that? Who doesn't want to sleep in their bed? Just say, hey, what's up? Come on, please, I'll call you later.
exactly.
So we must always know that the world is you are racing against time.
Yeah.
And if you are racing against time, you must deepen capacity, burn the candle as quickly as possible. It is that capacity that catapults you anywhere else you go. Either you go to Canada, you go to the US, anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that clarity, some do it, but they don't have the clarity. And clarity is tough because our educational system doesn't help provide clarity. So I'm doing my MBA in Lagos Business School. And I make bold to say that even the Lagos Business School does not provide clarity. So is a pandemic that we must be committed to helping young people achieve. And that is what I have committed to doing. So if that answers your question in terms of how that clarity came about and what we should then do to democratize clarity for young people. In their father's house, they would provide the spiritual clarity and morality and whatever. But our own job is to say, okay, these are the skills, because young people need to know how to trust their leaders and their bosses. You are too entitled that you are bothered with the problems that the person is giving you. At times, people would see your potential more than you.
Yeah, it has happened a lot with me.
And they would then help you with that clarity. One of my bosses in KPMG called me and said, Oga, I see, because even in the function that I hated, I did not want to do. What I did, I just said, this chaos is too much in this place. And I did a process design and said, this is how we've been doing it. Let's start doing it this way. And they were so happy. They pasted it on the wall. Okay, fine.
Can you imagine?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mapping it out for them.
That's what I wanted to, because that's where my heart was. That's what I wanted to do. Do you get what I mean? Now, one of my bosses then called me and said, bro, I know you've said that this is not the unit you want to be, but with this, it's become more obvious. He's the one that then told me that, I know you are trying to change units, but don't put your eggs here. Go and apply to PwC also.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
When I applied to PwC, I sat at the interview. They wanted me to be senior associate. That you're already coming from KPMG. There's no need. Don't worry. PwC is not like KPMG. It's easy for you to switch. Blah blah blah. I said no. I don't want to take the risk. I'll start again.
Really?
Oh yes. I started again.
You
twice.
said twice. Yes, you did say.
In 3 firms. Is it twice like that or 3 times?
Three.
1, 2, 3.
Twice after the first time, yes.
Yes, after the first time, twice exactly. Do you understand? So there are, I can't remember who said it. The people, and another thing is, people must never forget those who gave you shoulders to ride on. It's something like self-made. Who's self-made? Who cannot make themselves? Do you understand? Yeah. So we must first be selfless enough to provide clarity to young people, and we must be willing. Young people must be willing and ready to listen to, because people will be able to see certain things that you cannot even see. You are too young, you are too inexperienced to see. So when they put you on that path and say, Oga, you have this skill set, don't be lazy. Deepen it and expand it and follow this path. Follow it and flourish and trust the process.
That's it. That trust the process, that patience. Love it. Wow. So much to learn from her. And I think it's follow the right people, read early, start reading early, get inconvenienced.
Yeah.
Get inconvenienced. Get uncomfortable.
Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I like how that is couched.
That's it. So you say, as I say, rich to say.
That's
So I think a few things I want to draw from what you have said is first off, right mentoring, because you were mentored by Barack, you were also mentored by Bill. They don't know you. You know, a lot of people go around looking for mentor.
Bill and Barack.
Look for somebody who's doing something that you think you want to do and latch onto that.
Is living a life that you want to live.
They don't have to know you.
They don't have to know you. Do they even know that they have touched your life now? Until they listen to this podcast.
Yes, they will.
Of course.
Okay, and then another thing I took out of what you said is that a lot of things don't happen in the classroom.
Yes.
We think that the classroom is the do it and the end all and the do all, right? I don't know how they say that. How do they say that?
The do it and be all, or the end
Do
all.
it and be all.
You know, idea is need.
Yeah. But it's not necessarily in the classroom. Sometimes you have to get out of the classroom, right, and find your path.
Yeah.
You have to experiment.
Yeah.
You need external exposure. You know. Thank you so much for drawing all of those salient but glaring points.
Yeah.
So after working with over 310 enterprises, that's a huge number, you know, with a wealth of experience that comes with all of that. What are the most common strategic blind spots, you know, that you have seen African SMEs struggling with? You know, they don't even know that they have these things. And is this what also gave birth to your work with Feather Cash? Can you talk us through that?
Okay, thanks a lot. That's a very good question. When I talk about my work with enterprises, I think with the Caladium business, we work with over 300 clients, both Caladium and I as an individual consultant in my career. But with the SME initiative, we work with well over 10,000, let's say 11,000 or thereabout. And when I say work with people, mail me, talk to me, you know, all sort of sessions with them and all of that. And every day I wake up, I think about all sort of scenarios about businesses.
People are drawing on your brain.
What we've done now is we've built a tool for this to solve this thing you just mentioned about blind spot, and I'm coming to that question. We built a proprietary technology tool. It's called the Caladium 10x10 matrix that you can use to diagnose. Yeah, we use it for our clients. It's always like magic. They love it so much. So if you are going to start a session, if you book us for a strategy retreat, all our clients always say, no, this session is the best they've ever seen, because it's not aspire to Maguire we're doing our retreat now. We're strategists, you know. And what our tool does is to help you identify your blind spots using 10 parameters. 10 by 10. The 10 is your years, your length of years that you stayed, and the other 10 are those parameters. So revenue, profits, cash flow, people, system, structure, and all of those things. 10 of them. Now, because many times your blind spot that you don't know comes from the interrelationship between those things. A lot of times we don't understand what is important the most to our business model. At times we think what is important the most to our business model is revenue. Meanwhile, it may be cash flow. So you have to decide what is your own appetite. At times we're just chasing vanity traction and we are not really making money. So I think the tech ecosystem has redefined some of these things, because some are doing it deliberately just for capital to raise money. But if you are in the SME space, which is the question you asked me, if you're building an actual enterprise, right, you must understand your business model. For example, if you are in the service model, if you are the professional service space, you are wasting your time doing growth at all costs and not cash first, because in the history of professional service companies, they've always died from cash flow. All businesses generally die from cash, but professional service especially, because you are going to start owing salaries very quickly, because it's only in professional service and other types of service that you see staff cost to income ratio allowed to be higher than others, because it's people you are using.
Yes, it is.
So if you are not collecting,
Yeah.
If you are going to deploy resources every time for people that are not paying you, you are going to start owing salaries. People are going to start leaving very quickly.
Your best hands.
You can no longer, you're supposed to also evolve into an academic institution. You realize you can no longer hire the right talent. You are no longer attractive. You are no longer even attractive. And if you are not attractive to talent, you cannot be attractive to
your
clients.
clients. Yeah.
So you must but because I want to have this client. I want to have, and we're always very quick to say, let's just penetrate. Let's just enter here. Before you know it, you are everywhere. And your business is bleeding. And we can go on and on with several examples, right, of such models. If you are in manufacturing, for example, you need to understand your business model in manufacturing. What am I going to pursue? Yes, I have to sell, right? But if I sell, how am I able to distribute as quickly as my demand? Am I able to produce to quickly meet my demand? So many times than not, manufacturers, their blind spot is that they think that spending money on marketing, heavy money on marketing, is what's going to get them there. So they spend so much on marketing and spend so little on distribution. And then you realize that they are declaring losses because all the money where you for done, instead of you to spend instead of you to spend on your distribution network, how do I get what type of product? Same thing we said about professional service. What is the business model of my product? Who wants this product, and how can I get it to their hands? Now, some of Nigeria's most successful, fast-moving products have the lowest marketing expenses. I don't want to do advert. I will have started giving you examples.
Yeah, we understand.
You want to go to sausage, you want to go to biscuits, you want to go to water, you want to go to a lot of them. We don't know. When you mention their names, I know that thing. In fact, it's here. Go and bring one for me.
Yes.
Yet you hardly see them on TV. You hardly see them on billboards. You hardly see them on digital. And you are wondering, these people selling this thing now. Go everywhere, even in gaming. Africa's biggest gaming company is in this country. And they don't do any adverts. They rarely do adverts. So you need to understand. So those blind spots exist, but they vary from industry to industry. I just gave 2 examples now. And it starts from you telling yourself the truth, understanding your business model. And that's where the job of consultants come in, because a lot of times people think consultant is just over something. It's just hype, it's just fluff. You as the business owner, most times than not, it's just the technical skill you have.
Yeah.
You don't have any other skill.
Yeah.
So true.
Oh, so many. They don't have any other skill. Even the ones who have, I have a client that just signed up. We did a strategy session for them. He loved it so much. He just signed up for a retainer. He's ex KPMG. Do you understand my point? So he's not ignorant. It's not as if he doesn't know, but he just sees that this is my blind spot.
Yeah.
This is a perspective that this guy is bringing that is brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's able to say, "Come, let me put you on this retainer." People that only have technical skill, they say, "No."
I know it too.
What do they know? What do they know? What do they know that they want to tell me? So we're not even saying engage consultant, but put yourself in the circle of other people who you can learn from.
Yeah.
And
If it's your personnel, listen, learn from your staff.
Yes,
learn from your. Don't be if you are the smartest person in the room.
You are in the wrong room.
You are a moron. You are either in the wrong room or you are a moron. It's only morons that tell themselves that they are the smartest person in the room. In fact, one of the major indicators of intelligence is that when intelligent people speak, they always say, "Oh, please correct me if I'm wrong," or "I stand to be correct." Because the word body of knowledge by itself means that it can be changed or improved upon tomorrow.
Yeah.
There was a time when people were killed for saying the world was flat.
Yes.
I've been out, like literally, people died. The John Hughes and co. And today the world is round, isn't it? And nobody is going to kill anybody if tomorrow somebody else says,
It's over.
worst case, they will go and find out to see if it's true. So that's, as business owners, blind spots always exist, and you must always sit and open your mind to it. May be one intern that will come, that will just come and say, Tom, why are you doing this thing like this?
Yeah, and we're so open to that.
You know, why is it not this? When you get back to your bed at night, just look at it again. But this young guy is such a silly boy. It's true. Why have we been doing like this? And you will be shocked at how large organizations have been doing things like that for years. And just because That's the way we do it. Nobody has thought, and you don't even need to pay anybody to change it. But because it's so endemic in the system, to change it now requires you to go and pay consultants to come and do change management because they will refuse to adopt. So those blind spots exist in various forms. It may be how you pay versus how you receive money. It may be the type of clients, the type of market you are. Those who need your business may be more in this segment. But this is the segment you have been looking at since, because when you were growing up,
that's where you started from.
Or with your employers, that's where they were. So you now naturally felt, oh, I've left there. This is where I should also go. Back to what you asked me earlier about, I started off thinking, building and wanting to, or eventually competing with the best. Isn't it?
Yeah.
When we started,
that was not your intention.
I saw that the gap was that my employers were ignoring the SMEs.
SMEs, yes.
I sat at tables. I had a particular meeting with my directors, with these young guys from Port Harcourt. They were doing solid business, oil servicing business. And we told them that, sorry, we can't work with you, unfortunately. Your operations, your threshold is lower than. Yeah. And I'm like, this is money on the table. These are the people that are driving the economy. Yeah. So I wanted to be an SME guy. And I knew they were not going to play in the SME space.
Guy.
So, and I became the SME guy. There are very few SME conversations in Nigeria today that we are not part of. Right? But what has that now done? Because we built that niche so well, everybody wants to talk to us, including the big boys. In fact, it's because the big boys are trying to hijack us that we now created that our foundation to say, if we continue like this, we will become the people that the same international firms that we say.
Yes. You
get what I mean?
I get what you mean.
So,
and that's just being very self-aware.
Yeah, it's extremely. I think, in fact, I think that's the number one skill everybody must first learn.
Self-awareness.
It's extremely important. Oh my goodness, because as a child, if you are self-aware, you are open to correction.
Yes.
You will start evolving like that. As an adult, if you are self-aware, everything else can happen. But once you are not self-aware, you just be arguing. They will be correcting you. They will be telling you this. They will be telling you that. Learn this. Read this book. No, I know it. No, I use it. No, I don't agree.
I can hear so many people in that, including myself sometimes. No. I love it. And just listen. Understand your industry. Understand your business model. Figure out your blind spots. Early, and listen.
Proper diagnosis as well. Know the peculiarities of your niche.
Exactly.
Yeah, diagnosis. Exactly. That's the tool. Our diagnostics tool. Yeah. It's called the Caladium 10x10 matrix.
10 by 10. Love it. I'm coming to you begging. And I'm just looking. So you've done something quite big, right? You had mentioned when you were talking about the types of investment, and community came into it as well. And then now you've built this community of over 10,000 SMEs. First of all, I don't even know. Please,
big ups
to that's
where we're going.
Amazing.
Is still far from where we are.
I know you said so. So it's just, as you say, just 10,000. To me, I'm like, wow. If I had 10,000, that's how I'll be working. Come with the 10,000. You'll be able to speak to me. You can't tell me nothing. But I love it. There's a plan and a goal for much bigger. But you've touched over 10,000 SMEs with your work. How do you personally define impact? We've touched, how do you personally define or measure that impact? What is impact for you? What is transformation? And lots of them coming. What are they living with?
God bless you for asking me that question.
Amen.
Because, at times when people invite me to speak, I used to have a colleague who told me that why you shouldn't be going to speak at anywhere where they have less than 500 people or 200 or things. And I tell people that, and when she said it, I then started saying something in a lot of places where I go to speak, that I don't go to places for crowd. I go to places for one person.
Yeah, the one.
And that's what impact means.
The audience of one.
Yes.
There are so many titles to this.
I don't even know. I'm trying to hold my phone, hold my laptop. I'm just confused.
No, because I've landed in, was it Kano or Sokoto? I can't remember. Somewhere in North. And somebody came to me to say, that's, Caladium, that Ayo Bankole, that, I belong to your community, that I attended your events, something. I'm telling you, that, because of that, man, I started seeing my market differently. I changed this, I changed that.
Wow.
Begged me to follow him to his store to see where he started from, where he is.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Happened in my son's school. I wore my brand, and about 2 parents came to meet me that, they are in my community, and that this, that, and we had a long conversation about what they've learned, how it has changed, how they do things. That is impact for me. I don't know them. I'm not. People tell me that I need to do a lot more in terms of media and storytelling. I don't tell a lot of these stories that much. But when I go to bed at night, if I die tomorrow, that is what I would die fulfilled doing. And now we've started it also with our academy. We just started with 100. That's the way we started with 100 with Caladium SME in 2018. We just started with 100. In the next 5 years, we want to be able to say we've at least done maybe 3,000 to 5,000 strategy professionals. People who work in practice, work in banks, because they started off their career, they started off learning skills in the academy. So that's what impact means to me. Impact to me is not in the numbers. Can say, they were better for this. And that's not just in our initiatives also, even in the Caladium Consulting business. That's my primary biggest driver. My biggest driver in my consulting business is clients that can sit down and genuinely refer. My business is almost 100% referral anyway. That can genuinely refer and say, this guy is the best I've ever worked with because he did X, and this is how my business has evolved. And more importantly for me is my people, the young guys that work with me, that can say, no, my life turned around because I worked with AY. That's what impact means to me. That's what brings me, and I've discovered it long ago that it brings me a lot more fulfillment than money. Now my challenge is how to balance. In fact, my colleagues are always saying, why? No distress yourself. You are not dreaming by impact. I'm like, at the end of the day, the salary should be paid. We need to increase our compensation threshold because the problem is when these business owners come, they genuinely cannot pay you at your price point. But you can also see that this business has potential to grow. This person is just not seeing this blind spot. You want to help, but there are also salaries to pay. You are overwhelming your team. This bill cannot. Do you get my point? Which is why that foundation was created in the first place. If you go in there, you can get general. You get my point. So that's what impact means to me. And I just hope that's why I've realized that getting a grant is probably the best way to do a lot more. Because you can't continue to be absorbing the cost. You can't, yes. You will die suffering.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable
and
at all.
It makes sense because
it's not sustainable.
As you've said, SMEs are the bedrock and foundation of this.
They are.
Of our economy.
They are, and there are lots of them. Especially, so ours is even focused on women and young people, and there's an incredible number of them, women who are raising kids alone based on that their small business. That was the example I was giving about somebody who was selling barley. You see a lot of these women selling orange, selling barley, selling water. Their kids are going to school. Those kids that come back every day helping them, those kids almost 100% of the time is their only pathway out of poverty. And if you cannot help them evolve from that business or continue to survive or whatever, we're in trouble. Both in terms of supporting the business itself and also supporting them in terms of mindset change.
Wow, amazing. Amazing. I'm just here. Go for the one. Impact is not in the numbers. And I'm thinking.
I don't think I've ever had anybody
extracts. We like to.
No. I've had Eniola, my colleague. Eniola, I call her Mommy Gio. When I was 38, she did 38 things Ayo Bankole says.
Wow. I'm going to this now.
That was
I'm
the
not
most
impressed.
incredible.
My team, they've not done it yet. I thought they loved me.
Oh my God, that was below the belt.
Ayo Bankole. I thought Titi.
No, that blew my head off.
Yeah, but that's amazing.
Everybody was like, wow. This is insane. Were you writing every time you
She was probably laughing just chuckling in her mind. This is a hymn. This is a hymn statement.
Let him say another
Say
one.
another
It was so compelling. It was so compelling that they had to go curate it into a graphic.
I love it.
wow.
I love it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, wow.
So at this point, we'll just move on to take a question from our community. Okay, an agony aunt question.
Agony uncle in this case.
Oh, an agony uncle question. So here goes. I'm a middle manager at a multinational company in Lagos. I've been there for 6 years and I'm comfortable. Good salaries, benefits, respect from colleagues. But lately, I've been feeling like I'm just going through the motions. I see all these entrepreneurs around me building something meaningful, and I wonder if I'm wasting my potential staying in corporates. The thing is, I have zero business idea, and honestly, I'm not even sure I have what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Should I stay in my lane, or is there a way to test the entrepreneurship waters without blowing up my life? I'm confused. I'm confused about whether this restlessness means something or I'm just being ungrateful.
So first and foremost, entrepreneurship is going to blow over your life before it resets it. The level to which it blows over your life depends on the shock absorber that your life has. If you are from a comfortable family, for example, you have better shock absorber. You know, if you have a rich network of friends, you have better shock absorber. If you have a fat savings, you have better shock absorber. If you don't have any of them, you don't have any shock absorber. If you land in the ditch, you are done for, right? You don't go into entrepreneurship because you are looking at the lifestyle of entrepreneurs. As a matter of fact, there's a statistic that I'm trying to pull out, and I'll find it before I leave here. Of all the USD millionaires, I think about over 98 or 95% of them are 9 to 5ers. They are paid employees. Right? So because we are all looking at the 1% of the 1%, and everybody say, "Oh, I want to be the 1% of the 1%." You can't be the 1% of 1%. Your dreams are valid, but if that's the only reason that those who wanted to be the 1% of the 1%, those who became the 1%, many of them did not become it because they just wanted to be.
Yeah.
So you need to ask yourself, what drives me, even when I'm not making money, I'm still going, right? I mean, because now there are different pathways to entrepreneurship. Working 8 to 5, and I'm one of those, is one of the pathways. Building your career and discovering your pathway to your business through your career is something that is very doable. But that also means that you must first have a sterling career. If you are a wishy-washy employee, you are going to be a wishy-washy business person.
Yeah.
So, in fact, people don't know that being a business person is worse in terms of pressure and stress than being. Than, you can wake up one morning and a bad table can be the cause of your problems that day.
Yeah.
If you are in paid employment, you're going to be putting the stress on admin or facility.
Yeah, someone.
You know. So, what you need to ask yourself is there a way to stress test? How you should stress test is, if you have a savings or something, take 10% of it or 20% of it, go and start a business that you think you are interested in or that you are passionate about. Let's use that word, because young people like the word passion.
Passionate, you do.
That you think, oh, I love this area. Meanwhile, passion doesn't feed anybody. Tony Lumelu is not passionate about banking. He entered it accidentally. He applied to it, right? Now, but today, he's a banker. He's now using the money to be chasing capitalism, which is more of his passion. Now, if you have cold feet to remove 10 or 20% of your money to do that business, you are not an entrepreneur. Just move on. And it's okay.
No it and no
If
peace.
you don't have cold feet, in fact, 10% is too small. Carry
small.
40%.
Yep.
Abi now.
Yeah.
What will you do with 10%?
A riskier number.
Exactly. Now, the more your appetite, the more you are able to take to start the business, better for you. It means you are an entrepreneur. Because entrepreneurs are risk takers. Risk is the closest synonym to entrepreneurship. Because it's risk. You are putting your money there. You don't know if it will work.
Yeah.
Now, that's test level 1. Test level 2 is, if you are able to nurture that business, after you come back from work, you still lose another 5 hours of sleep just trying to get it to happen. In the course of your job, you are talking to this person, you are moving here, you are doing this, and you are growing it. Give it 1 year, 2 years, you are growing it, and you can see it grow. And then you are on the right path. If it's frustrating you, anytime you say, oh, you need to come back, you quickly come back, then you are not an entrepreneur, right? Now, when you build that business as a side hustle to a point that the cash flows from it is enough for you to live your life, then you can leave your job. Now, it's easier for those who have been entrepreneurs from day one. If you have been 9 to 5, there's a bit of adjustments that you need to. So that's why I've given you this thing. It's not as if it's a universal template that works for everybody, but at least it's a way to test the waters before you bury yourself inside, you know. And it's not, I tell people, I'm a bad person to come and ask me if I should be an entrepreneur. I was a career person for years. So you don't have to go and do entrepreneurship from day one. I'm not in entrepreneurship because I want to be a billionaire. I've written publicly before that I'm not necessarily chasing billions. I am okay. I have a number, a magic number that I'm chasing. Once I have the number, I'm fine. Right? Every other thing that comes on it,
it's an addition. It's an add-on.
It's not that I will get a deal of billions and I'll say, no, I don't want to be a billionaire. I don't know.
Of course
but
not.
I've clearly explained what drives me here, how, and you can see it in every day the way I live my life, right?
Yeah.
I have a price sheet. If you call me for certain conversations, if you're a brand, you will pay me. If you're a student or a small business, I will do it for free, even if you want to pay me. If you call me for a podcast that is owned by a bank or something, you pay me. If you are my friend or you are a small, I don't charge. No, it's true now. You didn't see my colleague. Normally, if it's a brand that mailed us, we would have responded with our rate card. Do you understand? But if it's my friend, my colleagues will say, I say, no, that's my friend. Why will you be charging my friend? Do you understand my point?
Yeah.
So it's not that I cannot charge. It's not that. Do you understand my point? I have people who will say, no, we don't need. And I look at them and I say, okay, whatever, move on. Call somebody else. Do you get my point? So you must know what brings you fulfillment, what life you want to live, what drives you. If it is just the money, man, let me go and do this thing. By the time the money is not coming, you commit suicide. It's true. People commit suicide tremendously because of failed businesses.
Yeah.
And I think it's an opportunity to also go and listen to my podcast. It's called the Failures Diaries Podcast.
Wow.
Yeah. We have a podcast called Failure Diary Podcast. And the podcast is just to document the failure stories of business owners and also professionals. It's not just business owners. And we've had incredible stories, you know, from.
That's very important.
Oh, it's extremely, because people just think that they are seeing somebody successful somewhere. Yeah, I mean, so I was going to do it. By the time, can you withhold the pain? If you can, all well and good. If you cannot, trust me, you can be a naira, dollar, whatever billionaire you want to be by building your career.
Yeah, you can't just stay there.
Oh, yeah, you can do it. You know, acquire tremendous skill sets. I have a friend. In fact, arguably one of the richest friends I have is a leading C-suite executive. In fact, he just tore a G-Wagon that he paid cash for. And that thing costs hundreds of millions. So it's not, don't let anybody bamboozle you. Entrepreneurship is a thankless job, but it's also rewarding if it works well.
Yeah.
But if you are not able to take the pain threshold, it's risk and reward.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, wow. It's almost like that song, Can You Stand the Rain? I was about to sing it, but I wouldn't. You know? Yes, but I like how you've so nicely just put and laid it out there. Let's be honest, let's be truthful. I also like the podcast because a lot of people look at the shining things. It looks so beautiful when it looks so glossy and glamorous. And not many people share about the failures and how difficult and how lonely it can be at the top. Yeah, I tried not to sing again, you know, but yes, I'm glad that you're calling it as it is. Let everyone know before you come in, so you know that you know.
Yeah.
You know, so as we round up, we like to do this one thing called one book, one song, one movie. From at any point in your life. It can be from the past, it can be from the present, it can be something that completely changed you. You can go in any order. One book, one song, one movie.
Oh, this is tough.
Yeah, it always is. Because people have so many books that they love, so many songs that they love.
So it's tough. So for the movie, I think that's easier for me. I think the most incredible movie that I recommend all the time for people, especially if you are a business owner or you're in professional service, is Suits.
Wow.
I love Suits so much. I've watched it I don't know how many times, and I named my son Harvey, right?
Wow.
Yeah, you know.
ABA.
You know, I think that Suits teaches us the brutal realities of running a business, especially as a professional service owner, business owner, and somebody who wants to build their career in professional service. A lot of times, those of us in Nigeria always think, oh, the pressure is only Nigeria that. It's only in Nigeria that they will require you to work overtime. It's only in Nigeria they require you to go through stress. It's only in Nigeria that this happens. It's only in Nigeria that legal something. Do you understand my point? It puts things into context. It also shows you what it means to rise to become a partner in a business. So people don't start their businesses and then you come in with entitlement. I mean, I've suffered these things. Everybody who ever had a business has.
Yeah.
You know. And then you come into the business and you think that reward is by entitlement. Reward is not by entitlement. People who establish or build businesses they put in their blood and sweat and nights and days that cannot be quantified in monetary terms. So if you are going to come in as a partner, you must be bringing something to the table, not something that an employee can bring.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
So as the business owner, if you want Suits, you get it. So being a star employee is different from becoming a partner or a business owner. I think there are so many lessons from Suits. It also teaches you that qualifications is not everything.
It's not.
In fact, it is many times than not it's just the
starting
base.
Starting point.
And the tech ecosystem has also shown us that that's no longer even
It's
relevant.
not if it's not.
Right? Even though I tell people, please
Still get it. So let's
go
know.
to school. You are not in America. You know. So I think Suits for me. One book, that one is tough. I've read so many books that I don't even know. But there is a book that I also recommend a lot of times. I don't know if I can do two books, but let me stick with one.
You can just throw a second one in, but one.
This book by Malcolm Gladwell is called Outliers.
Yeah.
Outliers. Yeah. Outliers feeds into what I've been saying since. And what Outliers simply tells us is, look, geniuses are not necessarily born. They can be made.
Yeah.
And that you become an expert at anything you do if you grind and toil and give it about 10,000 hours. Now, of course, it's not universal of hard or fast rule, but the principle of it is what we need to take out, which is the earlier you are able to expose yourself to certain skill sets and burn the candles, acquire incredible hours at it, the faster you will become an expert. I don't know how old this gentleman is, for example. If he has started doing this mixing, this voice thing that he's been doing since maybe 10 years ago, even if I'm older than him, he's better than it than me.
Of course.
It doesn't matter. Somebody else who has been doing only 1 hour a day for the last 30 years will come and tell you, I have 30 years experience.
No, you don't.
But he doesn't know jack about it.
Do
you get what I mean? So young people need to read that Outliers, take in the principles, look for a skill set, map what they want to really do, and burn the goddamn candle. Forget whatever anybody else is telling you. I read somebody somewhere relocated from Osogbo, said he traveled, they gave you a solid internship opportunity, solid job. He said because he's in VI, when you were going back home, you enter traffic, he said, no, this is not for me. And I'm looking at them like, what is wrong with you, for God? It's not because you saw people on social media saying, yes, queen, you say, oh, fine. Don't go and follow those kind of things. Ask yourself, where am I coming from? What sacrifices do I need to make today? Is this sacrifice of traffic? Do you understand? Is this sacrifice of traffic? Is this sacrifice of night shift? Because if you get an opportunity, for example, abroad, you have to work night shift. We have clients that we serve outside the country. If you have to tell yourself, what pain do I have to go through today to get me there and burn it very quickly. Another book is Start With Why, Simon Sinek.
Yes.
Because you must always ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why? What is your why? Don't just say because Ade is doing something, me too, I want to do it. Because Olakpe is doing this, I want to do it. So why? What is my why? Now that your why is what you now lay out other things on. And I think all our conversations today has
been around that.
Around how to even discover your why very quickly. You know. The last one is
song.
That song won't go out though.
That's what you said, but the other ones you found a way to make it easy.
That song won't go out though because I've not really been singing so much.
And it can be an old song from when you were young.
It will most likely be an old song because so I don't really know, but I think that for me there's a song that I sang when I was growing up, and it still brings me a lot of happiness today when I hear it, and that's Boys to Men. Boys to Men. The song is called "I'll Make Love to You." I'll make love to you. Dun, 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 dun. It's such a beautiful song. It's Boys to Men generally when I was growing up was amazing. Boys to Men, Mariah Carey. I know that there are better musicians these days, but I think that music was a whole lot more.
We had a conversation about that earlier.
Yeah, I think it was a whole lot more original back then, or maybe it's just a recency effect problem that is affecting me, or it's usual generation. My generation was better. Maybe that's what is affecting me. But so I think that I've been able to try my best.
You have.
Yes, giving more than your best.
Awesome. It has been a pleasure. Having you on
an intense one at that.
Today.
Yes.
We're so excited. Thank you for joining us.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for doing this. It's been incredible having this conversation with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you, Ayo.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of OnPeople. We hope you enjoyed our conversation with Ayo as much as we did. Don't forget to subscribe and listen on your favorite podcast platforms. To keep the conversation going, drop comments and questions on our social media handles. Until next time, bye for now.